Welcome to the brave new world. Scientists bring about baby farming and the recreation of the Nephilim. Welcome to the brave new world, where science now fully creates humans, and you choose your children from test tubes. The science fiction-based future is closer to reality than one might think. The designer baby devolution is not a futuristic event. Instead, it could take place in the next few years. But that's not all that could take place in the next few years. In fact, scientists are currently working on processes that would allow for baby farming, as The Guardian calls it. The lab procedure known as in vitro gametogenesis is based on allowing fertility clinics to make sperm and eggs from people's skin. The process has only been tested in mice and has yet to be tested on humans, but the field is progressing so fast that the dramatic impact it could have on society must be planned now. We try not to take a position on these issues except to point out that before too long we may well be facing them, and we might do well to start the conversation now, said Eli Adachi, professor of medical science at Brown University in Rhode Island. The creation of sperm and eggs from tissue has become possible because of recent advances in which scientists have learned first to reprogram adult cells into a younger, more versatile state, and then to grow them into functioning sex cells. Just recently, in October, scientists in Japan announced for the first time the birth of baby mice from eggs made with their parents' skin. Do you have any idea how bad this is and where this can go? So you know the bones, a lot of people are finding, whether it be a farmer or an actual archaeologist, a lot of people discovering these incredible archaeological finds. And they just happen to be of strange humanoids. We're going to call it humanoids instead of Nephilim or creatures, as I would normally call it. Now, of course, some of it is artificial cranial deformation, but a lot of it, some of it, is genetic cranial deformation, which is very strange, and it challenges, of course, the mainstream archaeology. Now, when they take these bones and just garner enough get enough cells, they can pretty much, well, rebirth them or recreate them. I've covered this before on the website, but of course, this is only the beginning of it. They're doing other things to create beasts. The technology is still in its early stages, and testing on humans is still illegal in the UK and the US. However, given the reality that science is advancing so fast, there could be a rushed change in laws which would allow particular sciences to pass, which is why action must be taken now to curb the worst-case scenario outcome. The radical ideology behind this field of science is also fueling similar research projects, such as bringing back to life the elephant-sized cow, formerly known as the auroch. Aurochs roamed Europe for thousands of years until the last of their kind died in the Jaktaro forest in Poland in 1627. They were 7 foot tall and weighed around 1,000 kilos. Similar projects have included attempting to bring back the Neanderthals. Professor George Church of Harvard Medical School believes he can reconstruct Neanderthal DNA. All that is needed is an adventurous woman. Does that sound familiar? If it doesn't, get in your Bible, claims the professor. The teacher said his analysis of Neanderthal genetic code using samples from bones is complete enough to reconstruct their DNA. What is happening is science that can and will radically change our reality. The processes in question can and will bring back the biblical Nephilim, all while stripping mankind of the thing that matters most, the hand of God. God's hand is in creation, and each life form that is created is given the breath of life. But what happens when mankind takes over that process? What happens when God is removed? The Bible speaks of the times at hand, and the Bible foretells of the things that will walk the earth in those days, according to Matthew 24, verse 37. The following is the transcript and excerpt from a report published on the Mother Jones website by Nina Lish Schultz, who was interviewing a skeptic on them. I would question if she actually is a skeptic or not. Marcy Darvanovsky, who is an executive director of the Berkeley-based Center for Genetics and Society. Her research focuses on biotechnology and reproduction. Of course, this is the actual timeline of when it will happen. When they say it will happen. To conclude, the future we face with gene editing is rather gloomy, but the Bible tells us these things will come to pass, and we must remember not to be afraid. Seek the truth and be set free. That truth is Jesus Christ, and He knows about what is coming upon the earth. And in the last days, He has a plan and a purpose for all of us, which means regardless of what science or culture or what the government says, He is still in control, and He always will be. Don't forget that. It's time to stop being afraid. Yes, this is freaky science, and this is one fraction of what they're actually doing. Genetic engineering, designer babies, baby farming, that's the newest one. Literally, baby farming. It's called actually officially embryo farming, but baby farming, that's what it is. This is terrible. What a wonderful world where science dictates frickin' everything. According to science, we are just animals, which means that we can be treated as animals. We can be killed and slaughtered because we can just create another animal. We're not animals. According to Psalm 139, verse 14, I will praise Thee, for I am fearfully and wondrously made. Marvelous are Thy works, and my soul knoweth it well. But science wants to remove this from us because we can treat everybody else like dirt. If we're just animals, if we're disposable, if there's not an actual special sense to being alive, to life itself. Think about that. And now, of course, you have people who want science to run the government. Oh, dear God, we are all screwed if that ever happens. Because we will all just be expendable. Instead of special, instead of unique and individual. Because life is beautiful. And what is science trying to do? Create a damn farm with it. Something has got to change with this. That's all I got for you. God bless and carry on.